delicate intersections of literature, media, and society. Yesterday's presentation set a high bar for the intellectual rigor and insightful dialogue, and we are truly excited to see what today holds for us. What today's discussions will further enhance our knowledge and understanding of these dynamic fields. As we inch closer to the end of the conference, I am truly grateful for the opportunity to have shared this journey with you. Let us make the most of today's journey and today's sessions as we continue to explore and reflect on the critical issues and emerging trends in shaping our academic and professional landscapes. Thank you all for your participation and contribution. I look forward to this day, and so should you, to everything, all the enriching discussions and meaningful exchanges we have in store for you today. Keeping up with the itinerary, at this juncture, I am honored to welcome Dr. Jitendra Mishra, Registrar, Jain, Deemed to be University, where Sir has been instrumental in driving academic excellence and institutional growth. Previously, Sir held key leadership roles like the Dean and the Director of Jaipur University of Institute of Management and KIIT School of Management, leading advancements in outcome-based research education and accreditation. Sir was appointed by the UGC to draft the Learning Outcomes-Based Curriculum Framework for undergraduate management programs. As a member of the AIMS Executive Board since 2016, Dr. Mishra also contributed to implementing the NEP, the National Educational Policy. Additionally, Sir has also served as the National Secretary for the Center of Education, Growth and Research. It is with great pleasure that we invite Dr. Jitendra Mishra to share his valuable insights and address the conference. Let us extend a warm welcome to Dr. Mishra as he takes the stage.
Good afternoon. Thank you for nice introduction. It's always good to be amongst the scholars and faculty members, because it is the opportunity where you can further enrich your understanding and you learn new things. I'm very happy to be part of this valedictory session while we are in fact celebrating the success of the 2 days conference, wherein we had a large number of papers presented from across the sections, from across the geography. We all understand that conferences are designed for deliberation and discussion, where we try to shape the ideas, we try to shape the hypothesis, and further we test, and that leads to the better understanding of the given subjects. And it's a continuous process of learning that is a unique way in academia. If I look at the theme, and I congratulate the entire organizing team led by Dr. Bhargavi and the team from our languages and literature. I can see Rajni ma'am, Yashasni ma'am, Dr. Taya, Madam Geeta, Rajeshwari. I don't remember all the names, but you all are included. Shamli madam and all. So good job. You can clap for yourself, because while you are organizing your valedictory, it is a sign that you have done your job well, and it is here being concluded, and further while we conclude and revisit that all has been done in last 2 days, how are we going to take it further? You are going to take it further or not? Yes. So that's a good sign that you are winding up and you are trying to relate, you are trying to collate the understanding and building it for further. The theme of the conference is such a wonderful and very pertinent when we are saying literature, society, and global media. We all know that literature is a very important aspect of human evolution. Language and literature. If I talk of language, language is such a thing without which nothing gains significance. We encounter various moments, we have different feelings, we have different understanding about the diverse aspects of our living and our life. If you don't give it an expression, it doesn't make any sense to any one of us. It is just something very vague. Is it right or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So it comes to shape, it becomes meaningful, it becomes significant only when you express it, you give it a way, and you define it using language. And when you make it more comprehensive and inclusive in a more structured way, it starts becoming a literature. So we know that literature is a reflection of society, and society is shaped by literature. That's the catch. While one way it is reflection of how the society is evolving, what are the social values, how the society functions. Every good and bad of society is reflected in literature of the given time. Simultaneously, the literature also shapes the society. And in that case, when the literature shapes society, that is where the people having the power of pen has got great role to give a direction to the social evolution and try to draw the frame. If they fail, the society has got the chaotic things where they have their role. And we say that those who are indifferent, history doesn't forgive them. Being indifferent is not the best idea all the time. We have our role to play and we need to take a stand when it is needed. Is it right or not? So just being distinct is or indifferent is not the best thing. Further, you see the global media. Media has always been a kind of notorious. I'm sorry to use the word because it's something which is not in fully controlled. It's something which has a immense power. It has immense power of influence. It has the huge reach, which literature doesn't have, because literature has a class, it has a club, it has the different set of people and sects who admire one thing. So you will not find that one piece cater to all. We all have got our own sections. But media has such a power that it reaches out to each and every section more or less. So while society and literature are reflecting and helping each other to be more realistic and reflective in the right sense, also defining the frame. When you are reflecting something, while you say literature reflection, while reflecting, you find what is missing. And that's the point of correction. That is where the literature has got a great role. And if you read some literature, maybe Thakur Rabindranath Tagore or maybe Aurobindo and kind of even in that sense, Swami Vivekananda ji, these literatures are more shaping of the society. They are not simply critique of what is happening, but it is more prescriptive that what is not happening. That's where the constructive role of literature is there. But if you see in media, media has always been doing the things in a way that suits to their interest. And after media got so much commercialized, when the monetary aspects has entered into it, and when media has expanded across from your mobile to the digital space and everywhere, where it is much beyond time. If you say something happens, and the moment it happens, or even live, everything is on the screen. That has become very, very risky and dangerous, if I could say, where we need to be very careful that how to address this. I'm sure that the conference must have touched base on such theme, that how to bring media into more constructive role, how not to leave it simply for the business interest or for the sensation, but make it more constructive and contributing to the overall shaping up of the thing, how to fix the accountability and responsibility of the people at different front, how can each complement the other, how can literature complement the social evolution, as we have seen there are evidences and examples, how can media also complement in making the right picture of the literature and society rather than just finding the selective piece and putting it, which is misinterpreted for all valid reasons. So those must have been the theme. When we think further for the next conference, we need to bring out such kind of issues and try to build the discussion and deliberations in white papers, because we all need to take our responsibility. As I mentioned, that being indifferent is not the excuse. The time, the history doesn't forgive the people who remain indifferent and don't play their role, and things goes otherwise. So we need to fix the responsibility. We need to bring better understanding of our role and taking the things forward in a more accountable manner. I again wish you all a very happy concluding, while you are going away, I'm sure you all are richer in your understanding. You have got some useful takeaway. Whatever is there is the beginning. Build on that. When you come next time, try to contribute it better. And otherwise, also whatever learnings is there, reflect on that, work on that, and make it ongoing. Learning is a continuous process, and these are the occasions. These are the occasions when we further regain energy and enthusiasm by the discussion and deliberation, and that monotony that we feel like setting in, we set off and we start our learning process, our learning journey with a new vigor. I wish you all happy celebration of this 2 day deliberation and better working on it. We may meet next time and we will have better themes. We will have much deeper discussions, and in the process, we will try to fill the gap. We'll try to complement whatever is missing by our little effort. I wish you all wonderful conclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for reminding us that indeed with great power comes great responsibility. And somewhere over the course of our lives, we do forget that very profound message. Of course, literature being the pen gives us a lot of messages that are important. We tell literature, we tell cautionary tales of what might go wrong with society, and it is your responsibility as people from the media to make sure that the cautionary tale does not become society's reality. On that note, to commence our series on special addresses, we are privileged to welcome. Before that, I would like to bring to your attention that Dr. Mamta has just joined us, so we could give her a warm welcome, please. Thank you, ma'am. We're very happy to have you in our midst. Yes. Having said that, yes, we are very, very privileged to welcome Mr. John Thomas, who will offer his esteemed insights. We are privileged to hear from Sir, an eminent figure whose career uniquely bridges journalism and academia. With over 34 years of experience in national English dailies, including the Indian Express in Cochin, the Statesman in Calcutta, and the Deccan Herald, Mr. Thomas has also a notable chapter with Vijay Times, a local venture brought by the Times Group in 2006. Mr. Thomas's passion for teaching was ignited by his decade-long experience with British and French news agencies like Reuters and the AFP in Singapore. Upon returning to India in 1990, he played a pivotal role in founding the Asian College of Journalism in Chennai, the Manorama School of Communication in Kottayam. His commitment to education led him to head the Indian Institute of Journalism and New Media in Bangalore and to teach at prestigious universities such as Christ University, Garden City University, St. Joseph's College, and Christu Jayanti College. Mr. Thomas is currently a member of the Governing Council at Montfort College. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. John Thomas to share his insights with us today. Welcome, sir.
So, Professor Sharma has mentioned about the dangerous media, which I represent. And it is indeed dangerous, but let me try to explain how I understand the theme. Literature, society is the big bakra that suffers everything because it's on that stratum that everything is built. Society is what gets whatever everybody produces as members and then chucks it back on society. Now, literature and the media, the word that we need to take it as we do in this conference, would imply its journalism, dissemination of information, and everything that we think informs, educates, all that we as journalism teachers do. I'm a journalism teacher, so that's why I'm speaking from that point. But the thing about literature, which is what I studied to become this, because in my time, we hadn't had MA journalism or any of those things. So we all had to study essentially English literature. And then from that, build the skill. What we had was essentially language. That was taught to us. So in this theme, what I'm trying to say is literature allows not just the collation and dissemination of information, but what it does is it has a shelf life. Information that journalism does has a time space. 24 hours later, any information that we do in journalism perishes. So then because there is a quote in that book where it says, journalism is literature in a hurry. Journalism is many things. It's even history in a hurry. So journalism is meant to be a nitwit activity of much danger, as your dear registrar would warn you. The difficulty is that we need to get it out fast. So when you have it as literature, meaning that it can have a shelf life, it can become books, it can sit there on the wall and never be read. What you need to do is you need to add permissible preservatives for it, coloring and flavoring for it to be attractive, and then good, nice binding so that it sits on a shelf and makes people who sit before that and pontificate on television look mighty intelligent. That is how literature is. But no, literature yes, as opposed to journalism. Now, journalism's problem is, as I told you, it is very perishable and it's immediate. There the difficulty is, everything that you say, like I'm speaking now, once it's said, it's gone. And this poor society suffers it. Yesterday, on Times Now, we had Ashutosh and Anand Ranganathan. These two nearly came to blows in front of a live TV audience. They are speaking and they literally, belying the jacket and the tie and all these things. Anand Ranganathan looks so smart, unlike me. And he would have got slapped by this guy. And Ashutosh is supposed to be a very respected journalist. He once upon a time was heading the Hindi TV, all that. I never expected he would talk like that. And in between, you have this great mother figure from the madam of Times Now, going around telling them, bache, you're not primary children, all these kind of things. Now, why does this happen? And this is what has gone wrong, sir. With my much contrition, I would say this is what has happened to our media. Instead of having time to think, all human beings need time to think. And writing has an advantage because you can, it's like saying there is a eraser that comes with a pencil. We can correct it. Spoken journalism's problem is, once you say it, it's there. You can't withdraw it. And how did we reach here? We got here because our society, you have this great thing, which is a cinema word called Dil Mange More. And society kept on wanting to be fed more and more titillating things. That journalism from print evolved into broadcast, and that broadcast became visual. Even when broadcast was just vocal, that means the radio, the difference was people didn't think they were the cat's whiskers. And now I'm even afraid to talk about cats and dogs because they are eaten, according to our great candidate from America, who's now standing for elections again. Just look at that. That was another debate where Donald Trump says, immigrants are all coming from asylums, from prisons, all sorts of places, and then they are coming here and eating our cats, dogs, and our pets. And straight away you have somebody fact-checking and saying, there is no evidence for that. And he says, we'll find out. Now, the drama that today journalism has been made because it became visual is what today we are suffering from. We are all paying very heavily for that in the form of a lack of credibility. I shamefully have to listen to somebody call me a prostitute. Why do I have to do that? It's because if I have to keep going, the entire Sarkar considers the press as a unnecessary evil. It's not even a necessary evil, it's an unnecessary evil, which has to be put in its place and shackled and used for this. Because the leader believes that there is only one way, that is Man Ki Baat. Sawal mat pucho, hum jo bolta hai, sun lijiye. That is the kind of attitude it is. So media ended up being a monologue. And for you to sit and suffer and watch drama. Literature needed what was called preservatives, flavoring, all that, to make it look good and sit there. Journalism now, when you add all those things and still it is current, that's like what? That is like what we are now seeing. Completely inane and to an extent obscene. That is what journalism has become. And to all of you, dear journalism students, my question, therefore, when I say this is as bad as it has become, can you not do anything about it? You can. What we are talking about is, oh, well, हम क्या करेंगे? मालिक लोग ऐसा बोलता है, हम लिखना पड़ता है. Wrong. I lived through the emergency that everybody talks about and you study about it, some of you, 1975 to 77. I ended up being the single correspondent for Cochin, which was the production center of the Kerala edition of Indian Express. Night after night after night, it was my job to take the wet print in those days. Now you don't have that, and take it to the censor. And some days he will pass with probably some cut here and there, just like that. They are all quite arbitrary, not because we were all anti-national people. At least in those days, nobody called us anti-national. Now we are being called anti-national every day. So, some days he won't pass the paper. That means you cannot publish the next morning. So this was the kind of, and even then, that censor was so loving. I was a young bachelor in those days. In his office, in those days, there was a piece of furniture called sofa cum bed. You don't have that anymore now. It is a sofa, but you can, stretch it out and you can lie on it. And he would say, you can lie here, because he is only going to wake up at 5 o'clock, because then you cannot print anymore. That is the whole idea. So if he says you sleep here, that means I will then have to use his phone to call my office and say, Aaj chapna nahi hai, gaya hai. And so I sleep there. Why do I sleep there? Because I have to take these things and go away. I cannot throw it there and go. So I have to sleep there. He loved me very much. His missus will come out with tea in the morning. He will very nicely talk to me like a son. All of those things. And namaste until tonight. Again, I'll be back. This is the kind of thing I did for that. But didn't we write stories on the days? Because we had to take at least 10 pages to show him. What did we write then in those days? If all Sarkar news was all that we were supposed to print. You know what we did? What today you have what is called rural journalism or rural reporting. That is what we did. I went to Panchayat offices, I went to all kinds of places, story banana. So I was, in those days, there was no scooter or anything. I used to cycle. The secret of my health when I'm 76 plus is that I cycle so much in those days. That's why I look so fit even now. And you went around to every municipal office, Panchayat office. I used to take duty in the district hospital in the night. You know why? All kinds of accidents will come there. Accidents, there is no, government doesn't mind. You can write about snake bites, all sorts of things. And people dying is always news. So hospital was a favorite place. Police stations were a favorite place. I used to cycle all the 6 police stations in Cochin in those days. All of them were very friendly with me. And You find stories and it's a way of writing it. You don't have to write everything that looks offensive. There are so many ways you can bring out stories that are truthful without them being offensive. Now, that was an art we learned. That experience helped me enormously when I went to Singapore. It's the Singapore style of media control that Modi is practicing here. What it is don't ask questions. Even if you ask questions, okay, we'll take note of who asked that question. You'll be grounded, all those things. But what will be printed, the official media's job is to make the Sarkar look good. The government of the day is the nation. Be patriotic means supporting the Sarkar. All these things that we hear now, I heard there. And there are so many countries in this world which have the same kind of media control. The only difference is in some places they shoot you. In other places, they sack you. But learning to survive without losing your life or your limb and your job is a great art that today journalism must teach all of us. And I think as teachers, people like me will teach you how you can write the same truth. You don't have to call somebody and a bad name. You can very politely call and say his paternity suspect. So that is the way you need to learn. So that is where language comes in. Language is vital to a journalist, and you need to know your language, how to get it on. So if you look at how Donald Trump speaks and Kamala Harris speaks, the difference is the language, and it's the distinction. And that is where the appeal is. So for all journalists, when we talk about this literature and society and global media expects you to be very lucid and clear. For that, you need excellent language skills and worship truth, which is still under our Ashoka Stamba, Satyameva Jayate. We worship truth. But if you want to add some preservatives and flavoring to it, do that, but even do that with some sense of honesty and morality. And we can still live. And I don't think we are going to be any more dangerous to society, because seriously, if journalists think society is who they are serving and the people are their bosses, then there is really no problem. If there are potholes, you write about them, potholes, but you don't have to accusatorily write that, thinking as if D.K. Shivkumar did it. You know, the thing is, there are people at much lower levels who are doing it. Dishonesty is not only at the top. Dishonesty is there with us. We all are brought up as children to say the truth. Don't lie. But don't we all lie? We all lie. We all live a lie. How best we can manage it. That is what it is. So I think that is what I would say. Dear journalism students among you, and there are business students here also, I'm told. There is something that I did. In fact, with people I was sitting and saying that the next seminar you can probably do is for the business people. The economics of war, I think, will be an excellent topic for you to do, because journalism students would benefit enormously attending that, because war keeps this world going. It's not love that makes the world go around. It's war that makes the world go around, economy especially. So think about it. But media will be there to write about wars. Media will also be there to write about all the lovely, nice things too. And please pray for this profession, because this profession needs a lot of God's grace. Thank you very much. And if there are questions, you are welcome to ask. Yeah, ask, please.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
So you talked about Mann Ki Baat, that there is a monologue that you only have, you cannot answer. Sir, I think that first of all, like Mann Ki Baat is always done by taking the reviews from the people and then he selects the topic and then discussion. And second of all, there are many email IDs from the government itself where they ask about the reviews on which they are going to pass the bill. For example, for Uniform Civil Code, the bill, no, I won't, thank you. Yeah, so for Uniform Civil Code, the reviews were asked that what are the reviews from the people's side, that what they think about Uniform Civil Code. And then I think the bill for Uttarakhand and this thing was passed. And the very same thing goes with the One Nation, One Election. And I'm following the government as well as opposition side very keenly. So I think that monologue is missing here because the people are giving chance to, what they think and what they actually want in this nation to put forward.
Good, good. There are people, I mentioned Dil Mange More. There are lots of people who need more than that. There are people who will be quite happy with hearing what they get and with what is available now. But there are lots of people who are spoiled for choice. They were over the years. You see, when you have an opposition, you can always say, why do you need an opposition? Because the government knows everything. Government is doing it for your good. I don't suspect anybody's good intentions. But the trouble is, that's not good enough. Half the nation will always be against something on anything. That's how it is. That's all. There is really nothing that I need to contradict what you are saying because what you said is correct. But I'm saying there are people who need more. That's all there is.
Exactly, because the previous governments were not even doing this. Yes, sir.
No,
that's why-
No. There are people who think they did better. There are people who think this people are doing better. These are all opinions.
Thank you.
That's all. Yeah.
Sir, as we know that I'm from a law background, so recently there is one domain that is legal journalism. As well as that, all the courts are now live. How basically the journalists as well as the people who are working in the domain of legal journalism can actually provide accurate or quality data that we all as a normal journal or normal people are looking forward to. Because whatever we are consuming from live courts that is visible on YouTube is very much like dependent upon everyone which are consuming. So how this legal journalism can efficiently be executed? Thank you.
Legal journalism is something that I would actively think, I wish there was a paper, 100 marks paper for legal journalism in this, because it's something that I think in university can consider. Adding on this, even as a value-added course, I think probably you should try doing that, because we didn't have the live laws and we didn't have any of the legal journals, legal news reporting journals earlier. Now they've come. And since they've come now, and because people have access to getting to read them online real time, because judgments, all those things used to take ages for them to be printed and come in the air and again get on the shelves. So if this can be taught, it's a great thing. So now your question is, how do we get good legal reporting? One, you need to learn. All these journalists who do that, what do they start with? Crime reporting. And crime reporting is the earliest exposure to law that every young journalist starts with. And I told you about bicycling around police stations and hospitals for all these accidents and things. Court correspondent is a higher level. Sadawala on the bicycle that I was, we learned all these normal things. To be a legal correspondent, that was at that time, which even now I think it is a special correspondent grade. Sada reporter, sub-editor, staff reporter correspondent, which is like the Sada. The Sada fellows all are exposed to this. In fact, their stuff is what comes into the paper first. But legal correspondents are available only at the Supreme Court level and the high courts of the states. Hardly ever at the district magistrates and all these things. So what I'm saying is they are badawalas. And those chaps are usually senior, they're not bachas. So bachas can get promoted and become that. But Supreme Court's rule says that if you have to cover the Supreme Court, you need to have a law degree. You need to have been a practicing lawyer, give up practice and take to journalism. So that means the newspaper or the television station employing him will have to pay a substantially higher salary than there would be for the normal correspondent. So to again back to your question, I think it's a great idea if your university can start a paper on this and then offer it as an elective. Legal journalism is something that we can consider because increasingly in a nasty world, law has greater importance. Yes, I know. Media law and ethics is to only tell you how not to score runs, but it's to block it without getting out. That is what media law and ethics, because that was a subject I taught too. So what it does is, essentially, I remember in Christ, what I did, there is really no textbook for it. Article 19A and B. What I did was divided the class into two. You write one section, write all about the what's available and all the restrictions. You write, and then we bind it together. That becomes your textbook, and then we work on it. Because that is how this can be made. Otherwise, this is a dead boring subject, which doesn't merit 100 marks. 50 marks are. Because there isn't very much to teach, because you have the freedoms and reasonable restrictions. How many classes do you need to teach that? So anyway, so that is that, and I think it's a good.
Sir, here is Dr. Pawar.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a question. Just I would like to know how journalism plays a vital or a crucial role in order to bring in a positive, visible change in the society. It is a positive construct. So I want to listen from you.
Great, sir. This is a question that
Thank you.
probably people in my grandfather's generation also tried answering, because people like me, there were two youngsters who suffered me while we were waiting to come, asked me this question, and I said the same thing, that yeah, printing machine, of course, that started. But the thing is, he asked me very nice, innocent, good question. Both of them were BBA students. That's how I understood that you have a mix of students here. What made you go into journalism? I said, because we thought at that time we can change the world. So everybody that went into journalism once upon a time, I don't think now youngsters are that naive. In my interviews and all that, that last batch of people who used to say, I want to be like Bakadat and all that is stopped. Now nobody says any of those things. No role models. Now they don't even say, I want to be like Arnab Goswami. So all that role models are gone, sir. But your point is a very valid point. Even now, which in my speech also, I hope I was trying to say that we can do good things and we can do positive things. And even if we want to call somebody names, we can do that with good flair and make that person first clap and then think, oops, what did I clap for? So that is how good we should be. But we can change the world. I still am an optimist. I'm going to die still with this optimism. I have failed. I haven't been able to change the world. But I think I want all youngsters to still feel that they can, if they try harder than we did. In our case, we got kicked in the behind. And I think we managed to keep our hips intact for all the kicks we got. Yes, sir. And you can say when to stop, okay? Until then, questions will go on. It's okay, I can hear you. Go on.
Good afternoon. I'm Shreya. Sir, as we know that ethics in journalism is the most important thing. That journalists are supposed to be ethical in whatever they have now, and we are absolutely responsible for it as well. So, for someone who is starting out in the industry, for a young journalist, how do they keep that in mind, and how do they be objective in the steps that they take? And how do they not be biased when they are reporting or when they are in the industry working as a journalist, as a young journalist?
Okay, ethics and this thing I have already showed you. That means trying to stay on the crease without getting out. That is media law and ethics for you.
Give us an example so that we can visualize as we go on.
How
Yeah.
to, okay, that's something, let it come, because my aging CPU has to work on it. The, the thing is, you still need to report things, or even reporting and opinions. You need to still do them. And what can we think of an example? Current one. Okay, do you think RG Kar hospital rate is a topic you would be interested in?
Sure.
All right. Now, there are many things people see. Okay. Everything that people see, why are we reporting? It's our credibility, meaning media's credibility. If I take everything that the governor there says one thing, Mamta Di says one thing, the doctors say one thing, the unions say one thing, BJP party state cell says one thing, and the TMC says one thing. All of them have their reasons to say what they are saying. But if somebody calls Didi a bastard, do you report? My question is, there are lots of things that you need to yourself, media law and ethics. Okay? There are lots of things that you say which are not necessarily suable, but still it is not right to do that because it's improper. We now live in a society where we not only, when I mentioned flavoring and all that, what I meant was the false news that you try to bring, but I'm talking about fabricated, spurious information, which also are passed off because people pass them on to you and you think, oh, because I'm quoting so and so, I can write it. The thing is, it may not be something that gets you into court, but all the same, I started saying the poor society has to endure whatever you have done. There are lots of things people say, which I don't think needs to be reported or conveyed to the people because people try to say they're trying to manipulate you. And why are they manipulating you? So that you manipulate society. So the thing I would say in AG Kar and all that, there has to be some respect for all kinds of things when you write. Why isn't this happening? Because of this immediacy of news through the broadcast media, especially the visual. That is why it's happening. Earlier, it wasn't this bad because there was 12 hours time to think, rethink, rewrite, edit, chuck, all that. Now the thing is, it's already seen. If I'm trying to be a very noble, you are with me in the office and we are trying to put out a decent newspaper with all the good values that you have learned. Right? They look at all these things, we'll have 5 screens in any newspaper these days. They've already shown all these things, blood, gore, dirt, everything. So can we do it? I think we can, but for that, we need a press council. There is a press council. You have an editor's guild. These are all people who must show much more calcium in their skeletal system than they currently have. That is what the problem is.
Thank you, sir, for those wonderful words of wisdom that you very humbly bestowed on us. I usually try to say something about what the speaker has just said as an extension, but as I sat there listening to sir, all I could feel was the pit of my stomach thinking perhaps it was responsibility induced anxiety, and I know that you feel the same as well, but to latch on to the positive note of what Sir said. Sir said that Sir is still an optimist, perhaps an idealist as well, that you can still change the world. And if all of you feel that you can change the world, perhaps your own corner of it, and if you're in all the corners of the world will see a change. So I'm going to leave you with that. It is now my honor to introduce an esteemed academic and research professional, Professor N. Mamta, a leader in the field of media, communication, and journalism. Currently, currently a professor at the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism, University of Mysore. Ma'am has been a key figure in shaping future media professionals since 2007. With over 25 years of academic experience, Professor Mamta has held various leadership roles, including principals at KVT Vidya College. You have a very, very impressive profile, ma'am. Please join me in welcoming.
Standing in a very esteemed institution. I mean it. Why? Because when I was a student in Bangalore University, this college was an affiliated college. And after I became a professor in the university, we tried, last 2 years, we tried for Kale India and even National Cultural Fest. I was talking with Madam about this. A cultural fest and sports fest. But Jane bagged it. So I was thinking why they got it? Why not we? But in these 2 days, I got the answer for it. The commitment, the discipline, these are the 2 things. Because of that, they backed it. Now I got that answer for that. So, with that remarks, the Sir John, sir, were excellent as a journalist. I think Bhargavi planned it very well. The way journalists should speak, you spoke that way. And now, academician, what I'm supposed to speak, I will do my duty, sir. Sir, Registrar, sir, all my colleagues, my dear students. See, teachers will go on and go on. And Bhargavi said, there is another speaker also, ma'am. So I wrote down my speech and I will read that. It is with immense pride and joy that I stand before you today as we draw the curtains on that what has been an extraordinary and enlightening journey as a media teacher. I feel both honored and humbled to present this valedictory speech. A moment to reflect on the ideas we have exchanged, the knowledge we have gained, and the impact we hope to make as we step forward. The quote with which the pen is mightier than the sword, maybe centuries old, but it remains as relevant today as it ever was. In the context of media, literature, and society, this phrase encapsulates the immense power of words, stories, and ideas to shape and transform societies. What we write and what we broadcast, what we share, these are not just isolated acts, they're acts of creation, of influence, and of change. As we close this chapter of our conference, let us remember that media is more than just a tool. It is a mirror reflecting society's values, it is progress, and it is struggles. But it is not just passive mirror, it is an agent of change. Media can challenge norms, shift perspectives, ignite movements, and inspire generations. As educators, students, and media professionals, we are all in some way holding the mirror and deciding how we chose to shape the world it reflects. In this room today, we are not just teachers or students, professionals or scholars. We are storytellers, each with a unique narrative that has the power to touch lives. In a time where the digital world moves faster than ever, where misinformation spreads like wildfire, our role as media professionals is more critical than it has ever been. We are not just crafting stories, we are shaping futures, influencing opinions, and molding the social fabric of our times. I would also like to extend a special mention to our students. In you, I see the future of media, and I must say it looks bright. The curiosity you have shown, the questions you asked yesterday in a session. I chaired one session wherein I had almost, it was a marathon session, 15 papers. I have witnessed the sessions wherein 6 to 7 papers. But first time I'll tell you, sir, yesterday it was 15 papers in a session. And very vibrant subjects, very vibrant subjects. And I have written down the details of it. Some papers, really, it was yeah, there was one paper on quality education in India, and there was one paper on serious literature papers were there, which was above my head. Really, I tell you, we journalists, we don't, journalism teachers and journalists, we don't have so much literature knowledge. It was all above my head. Honestly, I should agree with this. And there were papers, trends in films, impact of digital platforms. Some papers were about impact of digital revolution in books, online harassment on women in digital spaces, analyzing gender in wedding song narratives were the papers, which was really interesting. The research methodology you had in your papers, I was wondering about. I learned a lot from that. We teachers are also students, every teacher will agree with that. So I learned a lot of things from it. So you have shown, I must say that it looks bright. The curiosity you have shown, the questions you asked, and the creativity you have displayed throughout this journey have been nothing short of inspiring. As you step into the professional world, always remember that media, it is not just about reporting. What happens? It's about interpreting the world with empathy, integrity, and responsibility. You will have the power to shape the public opinion, but more importantly, you will have the power to drive change. Use it wisely and let your stories build bridges, break down barriers, and foster understanding. To my fellow teachers and professionals, thank you for your unwavering dedication and passion. We are living in a time where education, particularly media education, must evolve constantly. It is your commitment to innovation and creativity that ensures we continue to equip the next generation with the tools they need to navigate this ever-changing landscape. The seeds we have planted through this conference will bear fruit for years to come. As we conclude, let's not think of this as the end. Let's see it is a new beginning, a fresh page in the book of our shared journey. We go back to our classrooms, our newsrooms, our studios, and stages with renewed vigor, with a sense of purpose, and with understanding that our work matters. The stories we tell, the truths we uncover, and the conversation we spark will shape not just our world, but the world of tomorrow. Before I close, I want to express my gratitude to the organizers, the speakers, and every individual who have made this conference possible. Especially, Bhargavi told not to mention my name. Madam, from yesterday, they are talking about my name. They are raising my name. So I don't want to, you also, but I said, Bhargavi, it's my duty. I've seen your hard work, your commitment. And she is our own God. I'm very happy to say that. She is our department, our girl. So if I don't speak about you, it will be a great mistake. So really, you're successful, Bhargavi. You have done. Sir, I've seen her from her PhD days. She was PG student. She had done PhD also in our department. So from that time I'm seeing her. She's very hardworking girl. She has a lot of commitment, and I'm sure she'll be an asset to your institution, sir. Before I close, I want to express my gratitude to the organizers, the speakers, and every individual who made this conference possible. Your hard work and dedication have made this the whole Bhargavi team, all the teachers, all the journalism teachers. They were running up all around the building, sir. Made this event resounding success. Thank you for your vision and for creating a space where we could all come together and learn, share, and grow. And finally, to everyone here, thank you for your energy, your ideas, and your passion. Let us take the lessons we have learned and put them into action. For the true test of knowledge is not in what we say, but in what we do. May the stories you tell be filled with truth. May your voices always be heard, and may your work leave a lasting impact on the world. With all this, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that thought-provoking address. In reciprocation of the efforts of our speakers today, we would like to appreciate you by giving you a small token of our sincere appreciation. I now request Dr. Jitendra Mishra to kindly felicitate Mr. John Thomas. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, and thank you, Ms. Shrestha. Moving on, I would like to call upon Dr. Rajni Jairam to kindly felicitate Manta ma'am, please. Thank you. We finally now arrive at one of the most, of how should I say, the most anticipated moment of our event. The announcement of the Best Paper Award, or should I say the Best Papers Award, because we have two Best Paper Awards. These prestigious awards recognize the outstanding scholarly contributions as a testament to the excellence within our field. On that note, it is with great anticipation that I invite Dr. Bhargavi to take the stage and reveal the recipients of this esteemed award. Following this momentous announcement, Dr. Bhargavi will also deliver the concluding remarks reflecting on the significance of the event.
Thank you, Dania. So now We have reached the last leg of our 2 days conference. And the best award goes to two scholars here. Out of 300 papers, we selected 230 papers for the presentation. Over 16 tracks. We had 7 physical tracks yesterday and 1 online track. And today we had 7 online tracks and 1 physical track. That was really humongous for us to even think, but it was all possible because of our session chairs. They sat through, they heard everything. They also, marked the paper according to the rubrics we gave. So thank you all the 16 session chairs. Some of you are already here, Tahia ma'am, Mekla ma'am, Mamta ma'am, Yashaswini ma'am. Thank you, thank you everyone. Rajini ma'am, yes. My co-chair also did the session chair job because she was so excited seeing the papers. So thank you one and all. And now the best paper award, physical category, goes to Vivek Nag sir. Vivek Nag, are you here? Okay. Okay. So it goes to Vivek Nag, HOD, Animation Department, Whistling Woods. And the title of the paper is Cultural Frames and Queer Stories, Analyzing Independent Indian Animated Films. So this is the title. So the physical category is for Vivek Nag once again. And now the online category, the best paper award goes to Ujjwal Anand and Dr. Priyanka Tripathi, co-author, PhD scholar, Indian Institute of Technology, Patna. IIT Patna. And the paper title is Reproductive Politics in Indian Literature, Analyzing Sex Selection in Contemporary Novels. The theme itself is, yeah. So this goes to, once again, Dr. Ujjwal Anand and Dr. Priyanka Tripathi. This is the paper. Now, we have reached the vote of thanks. As Dr. Mamta rightly said, I don't think this is conclusion, but the beginning. I think we need to take this narrative forward in our classrooms, homes, society, because we had presenters from NGOs, entrepreneurs, academicians, not only just, this was actually really surprising. Industrialists, they came and presented papers here. In fact, I think Dr. Mamta's session, first presenter, Mr. Madan Kumar, was he is a very successful entrepreneur. He presented a paper on the gaps in higher education. Yeah, so I think we need to begin this dialogue, as rightly told. But still, we have to do this formality. I would like to thank our Chancellor Chandraj Roychand sir, Vice Chancellor Raj Singh sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Dinesh Neelkant sir, without whose support, I don't think this initiative would ever be possible. Further, I would like to thank Vice President Ravindra Bhandari sir, Register Jitendra Mishra ji, who is also our honorable speaker today. And today it's his birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. And our Chief Academic Officer, Shraddha ma'am, and my co-chair, Dr. Rajini Jairam ma'am. She has really supported throughout the conference and ever ready to, do any work. So thank you once again, ma'am. Our convener, Dr. Shamali Banerjee ma'am, she's right here. So throughout, it's her hard work, her confidence. And co-conveners, Sanju Xavier ma'am and Abhilasha ma'am. Abhilasha ma'am. They have worked last 10 days. We all have left this campus at 10 o'clock. So one big applaud for them. Thank you very much. And yeah, that they will be the last. But because it's for them, we have done the whole thing, ma'am. They are our objective. Our research partner, Patel sir, he's our publication partner and we've jointly organized with him Research Culture Society, Patel sir. We thank you very much for your guidance and support all through the conference. And now our chief guest, Professor George James, BK Ravi sir, and Aisha Kannam ma'am. All the 3 chief guests were amazing and they really add lot of value with their insights yesterday, along with our today's chief guests, John Thomas sir and Dr. Mamta. Thank you very much. Our HNL team headed by Rishi and Devin. They and their members have worked through from the past 2 days. They are the last to go, first to come here. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. And our organizing teams, Professor Santosh, Jesus, Farooq, our students, Ria Banerjee, Ria Bhattacharya, Ria Mukhopadhyay, Gopika ma'am, sorry, Ria, where are you? Okay, Ria ma'am, she is in charge of the certificate, so she is the most important person now. Yeah, Gopika ma'am, and our student organizers, they are here. Raksha, Shubham, Debelina, Janvi, Anish, Ruchika, they have really done a great job. Lakshman sir, Charles sir, and Preetham sir, even though they are not from our department, they have stood with us as if it is their department. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Saveria ma'am, Yashaswini ma'am, she was also our session chair. Our publicity team, Rajeshwari ma'am, she's made it happen. You know, our thing is featured in Doordarshan because of her, ma'am. Thank you so much, Rajeshwari ma'am. She's right here. Rajkumar sir, Jesus sir, and our publicity team, Supriya, Disha, thank you very much. And our visual team who made a documentary, Ronak, Akshay, thank you very much. Yadunandan for our technical support. Yadunandan. Most important person, Dr. Jayashree ma'am, Chaitra ma'am, please. Jayashree ma'am, please stand up. Yeah. One big round of applause to her. She has guided throughout. So thank you very much. Chaitra ma'am, Nishant sir. See, because I was telling my student, it is like arranging a marriage, you know, arranging a conference is just like that. So one person can never do this. It is this team effort and the team is here. And the most important person, Danya Seth ma'am. She's very, very nice and, you know, the way she compared, got us to the whole thing. She invested her emotions in her speech. So very nice, Danya ma'am. And our digital support, Umesh sir. Umesh sir. And Shiva ma'am, where is Shiva? Shiva Saida. She is our broadcast team head and Shiva ma'am, thank you for the YouTube basket. Kiran sir, thank you so much. See, all the team who supported us are here. If I have left any, Abu sir, our research scholars, Sushma, Ullas, yeah, now last. Now, our most important people, these are our students who are all sitting here. And everyone, all of you who can see, they have started, Tejasvi, everyone, Divya, all of you, you know, some of you all like I'm naming, but it's for you all we have organized it. The whole 2 days interaction, we as students never got an opportunity to attend such conferences. In fact, we were pushed into conferences when we became PhD scholars. Until then, we didn't know what publication was or what conferences. Apart from attending classes, we had no other exposure. So the whole idea or initiative was created to you all. Some of you were really not interested to sit through. You might have sat here for attendance. But now later on, you've told me that you really learned it. After the feedback, you have come and told me that you really learned a lot. So this whole initiative was created for your, our dear BAJ and MAJ students, and also the academicians from different universities, colleges. We have participation from Assam, Maharashtra, Delhi, the Kerala, name that state, we have a representation. So 130 different colleges and universities, they have participated in this conference. This is a very overwhelming response, I should say. And thank you everyone for making it so big. Thank you so much.
We also have a surprise video that the students of the department have made to give you a little glimpse of what has happened with the course of the conference. So let's take a look.
From Manipur.
I have come all the way from Punjab, from Bodoland University, Assam.
I'm from Manipur. I'm coming from University of Calicut, Social Institute of Management Studies.
I came here from Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Maharashtra state.
The Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Jain Jainpur University, organized this conference on it is the second international conference on media, literature and society.
I really congratulate Jain Group of Institutions for, bringing this topic, literature, society and global media together. It's really a very powerful subject which needs to be, talked about, which needs to be, understood better, especially by the young journalists.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be at this meeting. I think that literature, society, and the global media is a very important topic. And the presentations that have been made so far and the speeches that have been made have been very moving and very engaging to me.
Coming down locally and participating in such a conference, it's really good. And specifically the topic that has been taken today of media, journalism and the reliability and trust, it's truly worth it.
I scored a question here and had an amazing experience. The students spoke about diverse issues. The intersectionality that was explored was tremendous and amazing. The speakers this morning brought so much to the forum. Across disciplines like anthropology, political, legal sciences, so many disciplines want to come up with their knowledges in literature and global media. This not only gave room for research, but also gave pathways for innovation with the main theme. The sub-themes are crafted so well and the team have worked so hard to make this what it is today. And the takeaway is going to be positive for all the people coming from different strata, be they academicians, educationists, researchers, and students.
But I just have one word that I was blown away. Wow, you should take a bow. That was very, very impressive. Thank you so much for that. Now, to conclude our event, we will now stand for the national anthem. Please rise and join in honoring our nation as we sing the anthem together.
Janaganamana Adinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vikata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Uttara Banga Himachala Yamuna Ganga Jala Jala Vitaranga Shubha Name Jage Shubha Ashish Mage
बोलो भारत माता की जय।
As we conclude this exceptional gathering, I want to express our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for your invaluable contributions and participation. Your insights and engagement have truly enriched our event. Wishing you all a wonderful evening ahead. May the ideas and connections you made here continue to inspire and empower all of your future endeavors. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful evening. We request the organizing committee to please assemble for a group photograph in the reception. Thank you.
अबे आप नहीं ऑर्गेनाइज किया
Be seated. 5 minutes. Tell them. Yeah, yes.
That's working Dhameshwari your screen. Yeah, you're visible here still. I am invisible. मैं पक्का निकल लूंगी. हल्का से स्कॉल. I don't want to be flutters. I'll wait till I. Jumping. एमेजन होते हैं पहली बार अगर पढ़ाई खत्म हो जाए.